I gotta replay it, start over. I gotta get my link posted to Twitter. I'm trying to utilize social media to my advantage a little bit more. A second. Ew. This is a good one. I like this one. I like it. Ooh, we're ready. We're ready. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. Basically on this show every Friday night. Before a major UFC card, honestly, we do all the UFC events. Come on here live. Usually try and get on a little bit earlier. I'm just struggling a little bit the past week or so. Today got off of work, had to run to the airport to pick up my girlfriend. I just got home and I've just been so busy during the week. I had to come home, wrap up some of my research. Good thing there's a lot of common names on this card, so we should be good here. I appreciate you tuning in. I see I got one viewer here. Let's just get into UFC 273. Before I get started, this is what I want you to do to the chat box. It's called smesh. That's what Khamzat calls it. Do that to the like button. Smesh it. I'm gonna smesh this guy, brother. That's what Khamzat says. Alright. Yeah, just an absolutely crazy week. I turned 30 years old on Tuesday. I had a little bit of a crisis on Monday, just was kind of spinning the wheels a little bit. Just decided to start running. I didn't run yesterday or today. I just kind of ran out of time. And now I'm cracking a beer. I was like, I'll go on a run after this. No. It's not happening. Tomorrow, though, I'm waking up. I'm going to do it. I got to get better. I'm so out of shape. So let's get into the card here. Sorry, I'm using Macintosh. Just trying to figure this out now. And the stream quality will improve. I'm just kind of using some temporary setups as I kind of get a new computer in, and yeah, we're gonna work on setting this channel up legit again. I've got the NFT giveaway. I do want to mention something about that just in case you tuned in for that. So basically, when I hit 100 subscribers, I'm gonna give one random subscriber a UFC strike moment. So I've been participating in a lot of the pack drops, buying those. I've got quite a few duplicates, and I'd like to, rather than just like selling them back to the marketplace, I'd love to give them out to someone who supports the channel, supports the show. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The first fight of the night, we've got Julio Arse taking on Daniel Santos. Julio Arce, he's been around for a little bit. I think he's 5-3 in the UFC, 4-3 in the UFC. So kind of up and down. It seems like he's win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. He's taking on Daniel Santos, who's making his debut. Arce is a slight favorite at -170. Daniel Santos plus 150. I mean, this is a tough opponent for Daniel Santos. Julio Arce had kind of got thrown into the fire, it seems like, right away in his UFC career. He's definitely faced higher level competition. He is coming off the loss to Song Yadong, but pretty understandable. That dude's pretty nice, Song Yadong. Let's look at the lines. I like to check this out, see what the odds makers like. They like the fight to go the distance. When I'm thinking of, what I could see happening, I mean, yeah, I guess I like the idea of a point fight and Julio Arce, the more experienced fighter, kind of being savvy and pulling off the win. I do think Daniel Santos, with his inexperience, could fall prone to getting caught with something, a submission attempt, a slick attempt like that, or maybe he comes out, just gasses himself out early in the fight from excitement, and then he's got nothing left and can't even go the 3 rounds. So I'm probably going to stick away from making a prediction or betting on, the result of this fight. But I think Julio Arce at -170 isn't bad value. I mean, he's carrying a ton of experience into this fight. I think he looks pretty good as a fighter. So I'm rolling with Julio Arce on the money line. I'm going to kind of go quick because I'm running on fumes. Pilar Rodriguez is taking on Kay Hansen. Pilar Rodriguez, she's 7-0 professionally. She's LeVar Ball, undefeated, never lost. She's taken on Kay Hansen, who's I think 1-2 in the UFC. That's what I have written down. Kay Hansen is the slight underdog at +110. Pilar Rodriguez, favorite, -130. Basically, my prediction in this fight, it just comes down to I haven't been overly impressed with Kay Hansen. Her performances aren't the greatest, kind of poor and predictable on the feet. Obviously has some grappling she can fall back on, but in your 4th UFC fight, you're getting paired up with a prospect. It's kind of already come back full circle for Kay Hansen, and she's got to really figure out how to get a win. Pilar Rodriguez, she's going to have a clear, distinct advantage on the feet. She'll probably want to keep this one standing. If we're looking at the fight stats, yeah, we've got 0 sort of statistics on her takedown defense, Pilar Rodriguez. I do anticipate, in order for Kay to win this fight, she's going to have to get it to the mat. So we'll definitely see how Pilar reacts and how she does with handling takedowns, but ultimately, like I said, I just haven't been overly impressed with what I've seen from Kay Hansen. So we're going to go with the person making their UFC debut in Pilar Rodriguez. The odds makers are going to like this one to go the distance. Yeah, -175. I guess, Kay does have 1 loss via KO, and we're looking at Pilar Rodriguez, who comes in 7-0. Out of those 7 wins, 5 have been knockouts. So, it might not be a bad idea if you're going with, I'm going to go with Pilar Rodriguez. Instead of going for a, hello, this is KO Bets. Yeah. No, I'm not going to buy that. Bye. Sorry, telemarketer. I'm just kidding. All right. So, anyways, Pilar Rodriguez. What I was saying, she's not gonna get a submission win for sure versus Kay Hansen. I do think this fight is likely to head to a decision. However, with Pilar Rodriguez knockout power, it's not a bad idea to just couple those together at minus 115, just in case Kay gets caught. Now, a couple of fights have moved around on this card just because Jairzinho Rosenstrike and he was going to face Marcin Tybura. Sorry, I'm knocking my charger out of the wall. So that fight's no longer happening. Something happened with Jairzinho Rosenstrike, so he dropped out. So now the third fight of the night, Oleksiy Olynyk, Jared Vanderaa. Jared's my boy. I follow him on TikTok. He interacts with his fans. You should definitely, like the UFC fighters, a lot of them, especially the amateurs, the novices, if you find them on TikTok, social media, they're like really fun to interact with. So if you see someone and you're a fan of them, like I definitely encourage you to reach out and help, just express support. It's gotta be a tough job. I mean, it's no secret, like these guys in their latest fights have been struggling a little bit, and I'm sure they're both contemplating like why they're doing this. Obviously they get paid to do it, but I just think like you don't have to be like the best at doing what you do out the gate, but you got to improve incrementally every time you show up in the cage. I saw that out of Jared Vanderaa' last fight versus Arlovsky. I picked him to win versus Arlovsky. It went to the scorecard, and the judges gave it to Arlovsky. In my opinion, it could have gone either way. I was fairly impressed with Vanderaa. I thought he was pushing the action, pushing the pace a lot in the third round. I think he needs to maybe come out of the gates a little bit quicker, especially against a guy like Oleksiy Olynyk, who's going to be most dangerous, I think, early with the submission attempts. So he's just got to be ready to stuff takedowns when they come in, and then obviously not get caught or put in a position where he could get submitted. Because Oleksiy Olynyk is a submission guru. He is a Jedi master when it comes to submissions. You can see that resume, 59 wins, pretty amazing. 46 of them are submissions. So good jiu-jitsu artist, does go for the takedown. He is going to go for the takedown, I think, against Jared. I'm just looking for Jared to, stay on his feet, keep a base, take the fight. It's a pick'em. Vandeera's minus 115. Oleskiy's minus 105. Honestly, this isn't like Rosenstrike, Tybura, where someone's for sure getting knocked out, so they don't think this fight's going the distance. Which, I mean, just based on these guys' recent fights, there might not be like horrible value in picking something like late in this fight. Like, I think I like some of these parlays, these fight parlays. Like, if you like Olynyk, third or decision, Vanderaa, third or decision, winning method, Oleksiy decision plus 650, Jared decision plus 500. So, I mean, I think there's some value there. Like I said, these guys are going the distance, it seems like, in their latest fights. Obviously, Oleksiy, if he's winning, it's going to be a submission, so it's not going to end inside the distance. I like Vanderaa. I'm rolling with my guy. Next fight, we got Mickey Gall taking on Mike Proper Malott. Or Malott? Malott? Can you pass me the Malott? The hell's that? The hammer. Mickey Gall, 7-4. He's taking on Mike Malott, 7-1. Mike Malott is the favorite in this. He is minus 195. He's coming off a win in the Contender Series. He submitted Shimon Smitorinski, something like that. He's good at grappling. We'll see how he looks on the feet. Mickey Gall, we know what he does, similar to Oleksiy, just a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Very good at submitting people when it gets to their back and finds their back. He typically, I would say he typically doesn't do well during people who know how to grapple, stay safe, and wrestle, but I do anticipate him. He's gonna throw some stuff out there. It's what he does. He's gonna try and, if Mike Malott's in his guard, he's gonna try throwing up an armbar or triangle or something like that. If Mike Malott shoots and Mickey Gall thinks he's gonna fall down, he's gonna go for the guillotine. So honestly, when I'm looking at this fight, I'm just like Mickey Gall. Ever since he fought Sage Norcutt, he's 3-4, just kind of up and down. He's improved striking wise, but I don't trust the guy. I don't know if I want to bet my money on him. I don't know if I want to bet my money on either one of these guys, to be honest. The odds makers do not like this one to go the distance. I mean, so Mike Malott, his 7 wins, they're all via something inside the distance. His loss came inside the distance. Mickey Gall's probably the more durable guy in this fight, but we're probably, I mean, I think the odds makers got it right. You're probably, if Mickey wins, it's going to be a submission, and if Malott wins, there's a good chance it's a finish, just given his track record. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Mike Malott just because I don't particularly think Mickey Gall is gonna be able to do well with a person who's so proficient in the grappling department. So we're going with Mike Malott. It's a tough, I mean, and you by no means do you have to bet on every fight, right? So, I mean, I'm guilty. Sometimes I do these crazy round robins where I'm picking literally every single fight, and I'm doing like 2, 3, 4 fight parlays in the round robin. And so you kind of, like, the better you do with your 12 picks, you're dividing up your risk evenly. But you're not really dividing your risk evenly because, like, obviously an Alex Volkanowski win at minus 720 is not going to be worth the same as a Mike Malott win at minus 195. So you got to kind of pick and choose your spots, and just be smart with it. I mean, don't go all in. Never go all in. If you got $1 left, bet 50 cents, you know? You got 50 cents. You lost that. You got 50 cents left. Bet 25 cents. You got 25 cents left. You can place bets as little as 10 cents on DraftKings. Just don't ever go all in. I do it. Don't be like me. All right. Sorry, I thought I heard something in the wall. We've had in the past some bad issues. I don't have bad issues now, but I thought I heard something in the wall. They might be back. All right, we're going to ignore it. Aspen Ladd taking on Raquel Pennington. Raquel, that's someone I like in this. I mean, Aspen Ladd is definitely less experienced. She's 4-2 in the UFC, 1-2 in her last 3. She's the underdog at plus 155. Raquel Pennington, she's been around a little bit longer. Definitely has a tougher resume. I consider her the more well-rounded fighter. She's very proficient in the grappling department, which I think is just going to give Aspen Ladd problems. That's going to negate her strength in this fight. And even if she's the better grappler, it's just going to be difficult for Aspen Ladd to get Raquel Pennington to the mat and have controlling position. That's just my opinion. And then you're going to see a little bit of a discrepancy on the feet. I do think it's going to be a close fight. I would say likely a decision, heading towards a decision. We'll see what the odds makers think. Yeah, they love the decision at minus 300. So I'm probably looking at this Raquel Pennington. Minus 180 for Raquel Pennington, or you could do minus 105. Yeah, I'm probably just doing her the money line straight up. Doesn't really look like there's much incentive to pick a style of victory. So if we're looking at Aspen Ladd, she does have a little bit of power. She does have good grappling. I just think Pennington's more experienced, probably more well-rounded game heading into this match. So really like Raquel Pennington. Like the money line at minus 180. Feel very comfortable with that. Next fight here, we've got Anthony Hernandez. And I gotta find this. I think it's on my previous page. Yep. Anthony Hernandez, 8-2. He's taken on Josh Fremd, 9-2. I mean, Hernandez has a pretty good submission game. He's 2-2 in the UFC. Nice output in his fights. He's gonna be a tough opponent, I think, for Josh Fremd. Josh Fremd's making his debut. Kind of cites himself as a slow starter, and he's taken the fight on short notice. So, I mean, Anthony Hernandez is minus 195. I don't think he's that great. I don't know too much about this Josh Fremd guy. 4 KO victories, 3 submission victories, 2 decision victories. His losses have come via KO decision. He does have some grappling to his game. So I'm just kind of wondering if Anthony Hernandez isn't able to take the fight to the mat, who's going to have kind of the better stand-up game. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure for this one. Hernandez was originally supposed to fight maybe Driscus Duplessis or someone. I think it might have been Driscus, and he would have been such a big underdog in that fight. But it would have given Driscus a look at a jiu-jitsu practitioner. So I don't really get it, but I kind of get why they would schedule that. So the odds makers do not like this one to go the distance. Wow. Minus 500. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that, Hernandez 1-0 in decision, so only one of his fights have reached decision. Josh Fremd 2-1 in decisions. Man, probably a good one to stay away from. Hernandez, he looks great in some fights, and then he just looks a little flat in other fights. As soon as they establish a little more consistency, probably would feel more. Honestly, I'm taking Josh Fremd on the money line. If he's the underdog, that's who I'm going with. Just because I think there's a little bit better value on him. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Josh Fremd money line. The next fight we've got is Iangary taking on Darian Weeks. Iangary. Cheers. I don't know. So I think he fought Jordan Williams his first fight. He got clipped a little, but he stayed in there. Ultimately scored a knockout for himself. In his first UFC fight, he's 1-0 in the UFC. Darian Weeks, 0-1. Lost to Brian Barberena, who's just, it's like a zombie. We just saw him fight a couple weeks ago against Jim Miller. Kind of is what he is. Tough dude. Darian Weeks, 4 KOs, 1 submission win. So all 5 of his wins have come inside the distance. So he was likely going to struggle a little bit with a guy like Brian Barberena. Iangary hops on the mic and says, "I'm not here to take part, I'm here to take over. Thank you." He said it like he's Connor. He's like citing Connor, but he did it a little more politely. So I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to watching him fight. A guy like Darian Weeks. I think again, similar to Jordan Williams, this has the makings for a early finish. We saw him get clipped, so I'm sure the odds makers like this one not going the distance. Yeah, I just can't really think of any reason this wouldn't go the distance, or this would go the distance. Given the track record of both these guys, 6 wins inside the distance for Gary out of 8, all 5 for Darian Weeks. I guess the argument is combined between them, there's 1 decision loss, so they're only finishing their opponents, but they've never been finished. So I don't know. I love Iangary in this fight. I'm taking him. I think he's a little more well-rounded. I don't know if the odds makers are just kind of psyching me out a little bit, but I mean, why not an early finish, right? After what we saw that last fight and what we've seen from Darian Weeks and Iangary leading up to this, why not? Let's check the fight parlays. Yeah, I might do something like Iangary. Damn, they don't have under 2.5. I hate that, but it's probably smart. Iangary, it's 1 and 2. Iangary win by KO in round 1 plus 250. Man, there's just not enough juice, is there? I mean, it's decent, but it's better than minus 380 as money line odds, but I don't know. That's something I'll have to think about. If you want, I'll definitely put my Discord channel in the chat just so you can check it out. I usually, while the fights are going on or a little bit before, I usually kind of finalize my picks in the morning and share them in there. So I'll do that now while we're just talking and moving on to the main card. Discord, that's what I'm doing. Discord. So on the main card, the first fight is Vince Michelle taking on Mark Madsen. Vince Michelle is a decent fighter. I think he's exciting. That being said, I think he's struggled with grapplers, and we've seen that in the past. Gillespie submitted him, Rustem suplexed him. Back on The Ultimate Fighter Season 15, Oleksiy beat him. All wrestlers. Mark Manson, the Olympian. I think he's a silver medalist, but we know what he brings to the table. 2 fights ago, I think he was had 16 takedown attempts or something. So he's a persistent takedown guy. Honestly, just because of the track record, what we've seen from Vince Michel, to me it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pick him in this fight. Mark Manson is the underdog, slight underdog at plus 105. So we get a little bit of value sprinkled in here. As far as the results of the fight, I do kind of like a finish. I'm feeling a finish. Let's see what the odds makers think. They don't like the finish. Wow. So we've seen Vince, the last fight I saw Vince Michel in, he just looked extremely gassed. And he always kind of seems to lose his explosiveness late in fights. Mark Manson, definitely that wrestler's mindset is going to grind out wins. And it's just, I find it interesting that the odds makers don't think this one's going to be a finish. If we're looking at these fighters' statistics, Mark Manson, 3 KO wins, 3 sub wins, 5 decision wins. Oh, another LeVar Ball, undefeated, never lost. Vince Pichel, 8 KOs, 6 decisions. I don't know, if Mark Manson gets him to the ground, we've seen Vince Pichel just absolutely struggle with that. So I kind of like the Mark Manson inside the distance. So KO submission plus 350. I mean, he is the underdog, but I mean, unless Vince Pichel is just incredibly improved his takedown defense, I think he's going to struggle with a guy like Mark Manson. I don't know how he pulls off the win, to be honest. Definitely like Mark Manson. And also with Vince Pichel, it's one KO loss, 1 submission loss. Both to grapplers. One he got suplexed, the other he was submitted. So, see a couple people in here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm doing an NFT giveaway if you saw my Twitter post, and that's why you tuned in. If you just subscribe to the channel, I'll once I hit 100 subscribers, I'm gonna gift away a free UFC strike moment. It's like their new, the UFC's NFT collection. So if you just subscribe, you'll get notified when I go live. I don't post that often, just when there's fights. I'll definitely shoot out a tweet and let everyone know where our progress is at. We were at 26 last week subs, and today we were at 25, I think, which is a bummer. So the NFT giveaway it's working real well. Next fight, we've got Mackenzie Dern taking on Tasha Torres. I mean, this is kind of like who's gonna fight their style of fight. Mackenzie Dern, not great on the feet. Tasha Torres, not great on the ground. So, Mackenzie Dern, we know she's a terrific jiu-jitsu artist. She comes into this contest on a 1-fight losing streak, just lost to Hodge Rodriguez, which was a big step up in competition. I will say Tasha Torres, she beat Angela Hill, I think, in a decision her last fight. Might have been split or majority, but I just think if Mackenzie Dern gets a hold of Tasha Torres, brings her to the ground, this is going to be a tough fight for Tasha. That being said, if Tasha can stay on her feet. Like, Mackenzie Dern's not, like, going to persistently shoot for takedowns. That's not her game. Like, she's gonna... I mean, let's just look at the stats. Yeah, 0.54 takedown attempts. So, like, it's gonna be obvious if Tisha Torres just gets a decision in this. I kind of like Mackenzie Dern, though, to figure out a way to get this fight to the ground, and then ultimately she does have very good trips, but then ultimately at least get off. She's got to at least get off one submission attempt. So I kind of like Mackenzie Dern in this fight. As far as the odds makers, yeah, they're not really sure if it's going to go the distance or not go the distance. That's fine. The Mackenzie Dern submissions plus 215. The sub and decision is plus 2. Oh, minus 110. And she's only minus 120, so probably not worth taking that bet. Yeah, it's a tough prediction to make. I guess just historically what we've seen from a lot of fighters recently. Let me just find our last fight, because there were a couple of them. So Alexa Grasso beat Joanne Wood, and Joanne Wood was the grappler. But it was Sarah McCann against Carol Rosa. Carol Rosa was much more proficient on the feet, 4-0 heading in, and Sarah McCann just, like, grappled her. So I think if, like, Dern, someone's not telling her what she needs to do in this fight, which is get Tisha Torres to the ground, like, I don't know if she's ever going to be champion, because you're just, like, ignoring the obvious path to victory. Now we've got the crazy odds. And, I mean, you can parlay these fighters if you're super confident in someone. Man, I'd love to hear in the comment section who you think is most likely to get upset. I think you can make arguments for everyone, right? Let's reload this. Where's Gilbert? There he is. Yeah, so this fight, Khamzat minus 490. LeVar Ball. Khamzat LeVar Ball never lost. Chimaev is 10-0. He is 4-0 in the UFC. Gilbert Burns 20-4, coming off the Stephen Thompson win after getting knocked out by the champion Kamaru Usman. I mean, it's going to be obvious if Gilbert gives Khamzat a tough fight and ends up squeaking out like a unanimous decision. I shouldn't say squeaking out if it's unanimous, but ends up getting a unanimous decision. Khamzat just doesn't have that much experience. And if I'm looking at my notes, Khamzat's winning. He's going to smash Gilbert Burns, brother. I'm going to smash this guy, brother. That's what he says. Khamzat's winning. I'm going with the Khamzat finish. Let's look at the odds here. Winning method. I want to see fight props. Yeah, odds makers do not like this one to go the distance. So the Khamzat KOs plus 120. The submissions plus 275. I think with the jiu-jitsu, there's a good argument to be made. Like, he's not going to get the submission. However, I don't know what this guy's capable of. I mean, the KO submission is minus 190. That's probably something I'm looking at. Maybe Let me see. Maybe we're sprinkling in like Khamzat and under a round and a half, minus 105. I don't love that. What are the trending top picks? Smesh, bro. KO and under 1.5 rounds. I don't know about that. Yeah, I just think it's maybe the safe bet is just going with the finish. Either guy going with the finish. Like, I see over under 1.5 rounds here. Like, there's over under 2.5, under 2.5, minus 225. I mean, that's a hell of a lot better than minus 490 for Khamzat on the money line. I think the dude's scary, how good he is, but it's just competition too. I don't know. I understand the argument, like, if you think it's crazy not to bet on Gilbert Burns because he's plus 360, lock me up, throw away the key. I'm in the insane asylum. I'm going with Khamzat. He's getting a finish, probably early in the fight. Yeah, give me Khamzat all day. Next fight, we've got Aljamain Sterling taking on Peter Yan. Aljo's the underdog at plus 340. Peter Yan minus 450. I'm probably, like, by the way, with these last 3 fights, I'm probably, like, hedging my bet a little bit. Just because, like, there's such good odds on the underdogs. Like, it's not a bad idea to, like, sprinkle in small bets just to make sure you're covered and you're not getting screwed over. I like Peter Yan in this fight. I think what we saw in the first fight was a very hyperactive and aggressive Aljamain Sterling coming out the gate, rounds 1, 2, and I think he got tired. I really do. I don't think he came like with the approach like, oh, I'm gonna fight a 5-round fight. No, he had like 6 takedowns stuffed and really couldn't do much of anything. Was just kind of he did have a nice knee. I believe that might have been the first round, but yeah, it looked extremely tired and gassed. And then, I mean, it obviously ended with the 3 points of contact knee by Peter Yan. It was dirty. There's no question about it. It was dirty. It was dirty for sure. I don't know. You can say what you want. I thought Aljamain was tired, and I thought he was trying to bait him a little bit, and I thought Peter Yan was just like, F it. I don't even care, And then Aljamain, I don't love how he's been talking, like, publicly. He's been saying, like, oh, I should be fighting Corey Sandhagen. You beat Corey Sandhagen round 1 submission to get a chance to fight Peter Yan for the belt. Peter Yan then fought Corey Sandhagen, had a terrific performance in that fight. Yeah, I mean, it probably could have... I guess I could see Aljamain coming into this fight more prepared if he wasn't prepared in that first one. I just don't understand, like, why you wouldn't be prepared heading into your first ever title fight, right? So I don't really buy this idea that, he's been able to reinvent the wheel and he's all of a sudden going to be something different or do something different. It's a 5-round fight. Aljamain hasn't fought since this fight. Peter Yan had the Sandhagen fight. Let's roll with Peter Yan. as far as what the odds makers are setting this at, I'm sure they like the finish or early stoppage. I mean, if Aljo's just going to gas himself out like he did last time, there's not really any way he's going to survive a 5-round fight. The odds makers actually like it to go the distance. If we're looking at winning methods, I'm probably looking to like parlay Peter Yan KO decision at minus 400. But he's only minus 450 again. Man, maybe something later in the fight, like Peter Yan's definitely a slower starter. Like traditionally, he's one of those guys, almost like a what we've seen from Chito Vera, where it's just like he's solving a puzzle, right? He's dissecting his opponent. He's learning their tendencies in the early portions of the fight, and then he's super effective and lethal in the latter half of the fight. So maybe we're looking at Petr Yan to win and over, a certain amount of rounds. So maybe that's what I'm looking at placing. Like, I like that over 2.5. We saw it get to round 3 last time. That sounds pretty good to me. I'm gonna write that down actually. So, just trying to find like something realistic that could happen. Just because I'm curious. Petr Yan, Khamzat. Yeah, it's minus 208. Yeah, just how ridiculous. Minus 147. I mean, if you do like the underdogs, what's that get you? Incredible. Outstanding returns. Not gonna happen. Yeah, maybe looking to parlay Petr Yan. I'm just confident in him. Parlay him with like a Raquel, Pennington, Iangary, Mark Madsen. I mean, I guess I'm like saying Mark Madsen's a lock. He's not a lock, but I think he's a really good value pick, really good pick this week. So, I think he should be the favorite. I don't really understand the line. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Petr Yan, taking into consideration that he does come prepared to fight 5 rounds and he does start off slow. Just taking that into consideration, I kind of like Yan over 2.5 rounds minus 200 just to get yourself a little more juice, right? You're betting about half of what you would. Yeah, I mean, even better than that, just to get the same winnings back. And then we've got the main event, another belt on the line. Alexander Volkanowski taking on Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie. I mean, Volk is proven, right? He's minus 720 odds. Personally, I think out of all the favorites that we just reviewed, like, I think Alex is the most prone to maybe losing, and I don't feel like confident enough to bet that he's going to lose the fight. Like, I'm picking Alex to win. I just think we've definitely seen him more tested than the other 2 fighters in the UFC, and that's just my opinion about it. Ortega almost got him with the submission attempt. I don't think Ortega's... I mean, he's really good. But, that was pretty surprising. That was close. And then you think of the close fights with Max Holloway. He's 10-0 in the UFC, so he hasn't lost in the UFC. And I love betting on him just because he's a super competitive guy. just figures out a way to win. Super, super invested into sticking to a game plan, making adjustments, listening to his corner, high IQ. Really like that about him. Chan Sung Jung does have a little bit of dynamite in his hand, so that's my only argument about like maybe Volk potentially losing. Is just he's been caught before, but we're rolling with Volkanowski minus 720. I guess the decision sounds good, yeah. If we're looking at Chan Sung Jung, his losses, 3 KOs, 3 decisions. He does bring some pretty decent grappling himself. Does have some submission ability. Kind of wonder where Volk's going to take this fight. It seems like lately he's just been, he implemented some wrestling against Ortega. He didn't do that at all against Max. Yeah, maybe under. So I want to see this. Fight props, they do like it to go the distance, but 5 rounds is a long time to wait, right? Scary stuff. Maybe I'm looking at like Alex and over 2.5 here, minus 280. Same thing as like Khamzat, Piotr Jan, maybe something like that. Sounds good to me. It's possible someone gets caught early on in the fight, but yeah, I think something mid to late round is probably safe to bet on with these guys. And then Korean Zombie, obviously very durable fighter, legend, has been very good. Made a nice resurgence in his ever since returning from his service tenure. But yeah, ultimately, just got to go with Volkanowski in this fight. He's just too good, man. So that wraps up the fight card, the fight review. I don't know what was out there as far as trending topics. Yeah, it's always like every Friday. RuPaul's got something on, WWE's on. Oh, baseball started. Happy baseball season. We got the Cubs, the Sox. Sox they should be a playoff team. Cubs, we're rebuilding, but yeah, things should improve. Let's see. I don't know if there's really anything. Oh, the Masters. Freaking Tiger Woods. He's gonna make me quit golf. How ridiculous is that, dude? He freaking. I wonder what. He shows up, like, after not golfing professionally for over a year, breaking both legs, and then he shows up to Augusta. It's not my boy. JT. Yeah, he was +1. So he's tied for 19th. Dang. Matsuyama. Tied for 2nd. Looking to defend his title. So Scheffler. What did he do today? Oh my goodness. 67? How crazy. I'm probably not supposed to be on this website, I just realized, for, copyright purposes, that kind of shit. I'm gonna get demonetized. I'm also gonna get demonetized for saying stuff like shit. But, smash, if you see the like button, if someone asks you about it, like a news reporter or whatever, just answer like Khamzat. Like I'm gonna smash that guy, brother. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. NFT giveaway, I'll post an update on Twitter after this, and I appreciate you sticking with me. It's been a long week, and I'm just excited for to watch the fights, take a little bit of time off, hang out with friends, family. So happy Friday, everyone. Cheers. Hope you enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you all probably next week. Man, that was such a good sign off, and then my dumb ass is like, let's see what we got next. Yeah, we got Luke against Bilal Muhammad. Sweet. Next weekend, so cheers, everyone. Be safe. Let's turn on some music again, yeah?
If you are a content creator,